Hello guys, this is Real Recaps. In this video, I will talk about a 2009 erotic thriller film, Chloe. Before we start, I hope you will like and subscribe to the channel. The film begins by introducing us to Chloe, an attractive, alluring woman who works as a call girl and is highly skilled at enticing men. Chloe believes that knowing what men want and understanding the right words to say and when to say them is crucial in her line of work. The scene then shifts to Catherine, a gynecologist, who observes from her office window as a beautiful woman escorts an older man. Catherine's husband, David, a college professor, is approached by a student who asks him to dinner, but he politely declines. At their home, Catherine hosts a grand party for David's birthday. Their son, Michael, returns with a girl and heads upstairs, disregarding his mother. When David calls to inform Catherine he'll be late, she conceals her disappointment and assures him they'll wait for him. Later that night, when Michael's date is still around, Catherine asks her to leave, leading Michael to angrily slam the door in her face. The next morning, Catherine wakes to the sound of David shaving and listens to his apology for missing the party. She mentions his presents are in her office, but he tells her he'll be late for dinner again due to work. Catherine notices Michael's girl, who introduces herself as Anna, wandering the house scantily clad. She tries to counsel Michael, suggesting that his actions aren't appropriate, but Michael retorts that David approves of it. Catherine feels left out, realizing she wasn't informed about Anna's presence. She then checks if they are using protection, which Anna confirms. Shortly afterward, Catherine sees a message on David's phone from a young woman named Miranda, thanking him for the night and including a picture. Later, David and Catherine meet their friend Frank at a restaurant. As David engages casually with the waitress, Catherine feels uncomfortable and excuses herself to the restroom. While there, she hears a woman crying in a nearby stall. Offering her assistance, Catherine meets Chloe, who offers her a hairpin as thanks, though Catherine insists it isn't hers and politely declines. Watching Chloe later with a date, Catherine realizes she is a call girl. At home, Catherine confronts David about his friendliness with the waitress, but he assures her it meant nothing. One day, from her office window, Catherine notices Chloe entering an upscale bar and suspects she meets clients there. Deciding to investigate, she goes to the bar and asks to hire Chloe to test David's loyalty, revealing her suspicions of his infidelity. Catherine instructs Chloe to introduce herself to David at a cafe he frequents, pretending to be a student. Chloe approaches David at the cafe, borrowing some sugar as an icebreaker, and later recounts the encounter to Catherine, embellishing the story by saying David initiated their conversation and asked her to speak Japanese, which flustered her. She assures Catherine that nothing improper occurred, but Catherine is annoyed that David showed interest first. Chloe even compliments David's looks, which irritates Catherine, though she hands Chloe an envelope of money, asking her to meet him once more, clarifying this should be the last time. At home, Catherine overhears David chatting with someone on his computer and listens as Michael talks to Anna, but he notices her and shuts the door. Later, Catherine speaks to David, expressing her struggle with connecting to Michael, and he reflects on the intimacy they once shared. They share a drink, and David, with sadness, asks why they drifted apart. Catherine confesses she doesn't know, mentioning the busyness of their lives, then tries to kiss him, but he pulls away, saying he has work. She feigns support, encouraging him to continue. The next day, Chloe messages Catherine, requesting to meet. Catherine, feeling better after reconnecting with David, apologizes to Chloe and suggests forgetting the arrangement. But Chloe insists it's too late, having already met David. At a coffee shop, Chloe tells Catherine that she saw David again, and they shared a conversation over sandwiches, discussing school, music, and how David looked at her the entire time. David eventually asks Chloe if he can kiss her, which deeply upsets Catherine. However, Chloe quickly adds that David hesitated, saying he couldn't kiss her because he was married. Still, David asked if there was a private spot they could go, and Chloe suggested a greenhouse called Allen Gardens. Though Catherine is visibly shaken, she insists on hearing the full story. Chloe continues, describing a passionate kiss she and David shared in the secluded greenhouse. Catherine interrupts, reminding Chloe that she was only supposed to test David's loyalty, not get involved with him. Chloe questions what Catherine truly wants, and Catherine admits she made a mistake by involving her, storming off in anger. Shortly after, Catherine accidentally bumps her car and notices Chloe falling from her bicycle nearby. Catherine tends to her, and Chloe continues with the story, recounting her detailed encounter with David, even describing physical intimacy between them. Although upset, Catherine insists Chloe meet David again, but first requests Chloe's recent test results for sexually transmitted diseases, which Chloe agrees to provide. As Catherine drives home, she imagines Chloe being intimate with David. The next day, Chloe arrives at Catherine's office with her test results and briefly meets her son, Michael, flirting with him. Later, Catherine goes out with friends but is distracted, thinking of David. Chloe texts her, inviting her to a hotel room, where Catherine finds Chloe naked in the bathroom. Chloe then details her intimate experience with David on the bed, asking if Catherine is aroused by her stories. Though Catherine remains silent, her body language suggests she is affected. After paying Chloe, they leave the room together. At the elevator, Catherine compliments Chloe's scent, and Chloe shares some lotion with her. Catherine reminisces about her early relationship with David, and Chloe, sensing her vulnerability, kisses her. Shocked, Catherine leaves. Following Michael's piano recital, David compliments Catherine's fragrance, but she becomes uneasy and quickly leaves. Later, she and Chloe check into a hotel room where Catherine undresses Chloe, asking her to explain how David likes to be touched. The two become intimate, with Chloe taking the lead. That night, Catherine tells Chloe she must not see David again, and Chloe, before leaving, gives Catherine the hairpin she had once offered. When Catherine returns home, David confronts her, questioning her lateness and if she's having an affair. She responds evasively, leading David to insist that it would matter to him. They argue about infidelity, with David stating he only admires other women's beauty but has never acted on it. Their son Michael overhears and comments about wanting to leave the house, further adding to the tension. The following day, Catherine receives an email from Chloe, shocked to see a picture of them sleeping together. Chloe appears at her office with flowers, but Catherine sternly insists they end whatever is happening between them, offering her money. Chloe refuses, claiming it isn't about money, and begins to cry. Later, Chloe texts Catherine, claiming she has left David. Catherine then arranges a meeting at a cafe, inviting both David and Chloe. When David arrives, Catherine confronts him, asking for honesty about his behavior at her birthday party and his connection to Miranda. David admits he purposely missed the party and is angered by Catherine's suspicion. Just then, Chloe appears, but David doesn't recognize her, prompting Catherine to realize Chloe fabricated her stories about being with him. Catherine dismisses Chloe as nobody, and after David leaves, Catherine follows, confessing everything to him: how she hired Chloe out of suspicion, believed Chloe's lies, and ultimately was intimate with her. David is shocked but doesn't react with anger. Instead, he embraces her. Meanwhile, Chloe, who has flirted with Michael before, visits Catherine's home, seducing Michael in his parents' bed. Catherine returns to find them, horrified, and demands Michael leave. She confronts Chloe, telling her to stay away from her family. As they argue, Chloe accuses Catherine of only regaining her husband's attention because of her. While they continue to argue, Michael re-enters the room and watches in silence. Chloe, hurt, retrieves the hairpin she gave Catherine, threateningly pointing it at her and confessing her love. Chloe asks for a final kiss from Catherine, who obliges but is shocked to see Michael observing them. Startled, She accidentally pushes Chloe against a window, causing the glass to break and Chloe to fall. Chloe clings briefly but then lets go, falling to her death. In the aftermath, David embraces Catherine as the police arrive. In the final scene, Catherine is seen at a party, wearing Chloe's hairpin as a memento. The end. Thanks for watching.